everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle a pretty huge topic, generative AI. We're going to break down how this incredible technology goes from just looking at data to actually creating something brand new.
So let's just start with the big question that's at the heart of all of this. Can a computer really create something entirely new? Something it has never ever seen before? The answer to that is, well, it's the key to understanding this whole technological revolution. To get to that answer, we've got to start with the absolute basics. So what is generative AI? The clue you'll see is right there in the name. It's all about generating something from scratch.
Okay, so at its core, generative AI is a special kind of artificial intelligence that can create totally new content. And we're not just talking about fetching information that already exists. Nope, this is about learning patterns from massive, massive amounts of data to produce something that has literally never existed before, whether that's an email, a picture, or even a piece of music.
All right, to really make this concept click, let's use a super simple analogy. Let's forget all the complicated code for a second, and just imagine we're teaching a little kid how to draw.
So first you show this child, let's say, 10,000 pictures of dogs, all kinds of dogs. Now, the child doesn't memorize every single picture, of course not. Instead, they start to understand the patterns. They learn the essence of dogness. What makes a dog? The floppy ears, the wagging tails, the wet snouts. Then you give them a prompt. You say, hey, can you draw me a cartoon dog wearing sunglasses? The child doesn't just copy a photo they saw. They use their new understanding of dogness to create a brand new image that fits your requests. And that, right there in a nutshell, is exactly how generative AI works.
And that is the absolute key takeaway here. It's not about being a digital parrot, just memorizing and repeating. It's about understanding the underlying patterns and then using that knowledge to create something original. It's creativity, just guided by data.
So how in the world does the machine actually do this learning? Let's take a quick peek inside the digital brain. And don't worry, we're going to keep it simple and tie it right back to our little drawing child analogy.
The brain of a generative AI is something called a neural network, which is really just a fancy term for a computer system that's kind of modeled after the human brain. It's designed specifically to recognize patterns, and it learns by being fed just incredible amounts of data. Just like our drawing child learned from thousands and thousands of dog pictures.
And different AIs learn from different kinds of data. For text, you have what are called large language models, or LLMs. You've probably heard of ChatGPT. They're trained on billions of sentences from the internet to learn grammar, logic, and facts. Then for images, you have models like Midjourney. They're trained on millions of images that have text descriptions, so they learn the connection between, say, the words a fluffy cat and what a fluffy cat actually looks like.
Now, I know this might all sound a bit futuristic, but here's the thing. This technology is already a huge part of our daily lives. So let's look at a few ways you might already be using it without even realizing it.
Let's start with writing and communication. Think about tools like ChatGPT. People are using it all the time to help draft emails, summarize super long articles, or even create study notes. It's almost like having a personal assistant who can help you organize your thoughts and get them down on paper.
I mean, a student could use a prompt just like this one to get a really clear, simple explanation of a super complex topic, and it'll be perfectly tailored to their level of understanding. It's an amazing example of AI being used as a powerful learning tool.
And then, of course, you have the entire world of images and art. With tools like DALL-E and Midjourney, you can literally just describe an image with your words and then watch as the AI brings it to life. It could be a wild piece of abstract art or a photorealistic design. It's incredible.
So a prompt like a sci-fi city underwater isn't asking the AI to go find a picture that already exists somewhere on the internet. No way. It's a command to create something totally new by blending together the concepts of sci-fi, city, and underwater into one cohesive image.
And the applications just keep expanding. It's helping programmers write code, it's composing background music for videos, it's crafting marketing copy for businesses, and it's even acting as a personalized tutor for students. It's really fast becoming a fundamental tool in pretty much every field you can think of.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So before we wrap up, let's just boil it all down to the absolute key takeaways, the things you really need to remember.
So first, remember that generative AI learns patterns. It doesn't just memorize a bunch of facts. Second, its whole purpose is to create new content, not just repeat what it's already seen. Third, you are the director here. Your prompts are what guide the creation process.
And finally, all of this magic is powered by those huge neural networks that have been trained on unbelievable amounts of data.
And that brings us to one final, really big thought. This AI is learning from the vast library of human knowledge and creativity, everything we've ever put out into the world. So the real question for our future isn't just about what the AI can do for us. It's this: if it learns from us, what should we be teaching it next?